Hi guys, it's Mrs. V. So today you are going to need a pencil, an eraser, and you're going to kind of need to be a creative thinker today. We are going to add some patterns to our Romero Brito inspired heart. So we saw his artwork last week and his artwork was really bright and colorful. I don't know if you noticed guys, but what he would do is use patterns in all different parts of his artwork. So we're gonna do the same thing. And there is a sheet that is called Brito Pattern Examples. And I have it here. You guys can see it's on my phone, but you guys will have it for your own use in Seesaw. So I'm going to start, and each section that we have here, we're going to put a different pattern. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to start with just kind of a simple pattern. Now, you do not have to use the same patterns I do. You can use totally different ones. You can use them from the pattern example sheet, or you can combine them. You could be like, oh, maybe I like one thing about this pattern, but I want to add something different to it. So you guys can be very creative with this. And remember, a pattern is any design that repeats. So it can be lines, it can be shapes, it could be lines and shapes together. So this is going to look really, really cool. So I'm going to start, like I said, with a simple one. So I'm just going to start with some curved lines. And that's just my pattern. My pattern is curved lines. But because my space here is getting bigger, my curves get a little bigger. And I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to put a little tiny pattern in that little tiny space right there. I'm just going to do some little circles. Kind of looks like a piece of pizza now. All right, so for my next section, I'm going to do the inside of this heart. And I actually am just going to put some swirls. So I'm just doing some swirls inside my heart. There we go. So looking good so far. So I'm going to do some lines right in this section right here around the heart. And I'm going to do some loop-de-loop lines. Loop-de-loop lines are some of my favorite patterns. And I'm going to stop right here, and then I'm going to just pick it up. So just like you're making a big loop-de-loop. Awesome. All right. So I think for my next pattern, I might do, let's see, some, oh, I know what I'll do. I will do some stripes and circles. So I'm going to go stripe, circle, stripe, stripe, circle, stripe, stripe, circle, stripe. Ooh, put a little bit of circle in there. Stripe, circle, stripe. And again, if you guys don't like the patterns that I use, you don't have to use them. You use any kind that you want. But notice each piece has its own pattern. So I think for my next pattern, which I'm going to put, I think right here, I'm going to do little squares. Just like little squares. Almost looks like sprinkles. We could call this one square sprinkles. Could be the name of this pattern, right? Square sprinkles could be its name. And I'm just doing little squares, just popping around that little section right there. All right, so we got square sprinkles done. All right, for my next pattern, I think I'm going to do some more shapes. So what I'm going to do for this one, I think I'll do some, maybe some diamonds. So I'll do some diamond shapes. Oh, didn't look like a diamond there. Fix that. So diamond shapes. All right, so got my square sprinkles and diamonds. All right, for my next one up here, I think I'm gonna do some zigzag line and stripes. So zigzag And I'm just going to pass that heart, stripe, a little bit, zigzag. And I'm doing a really big kind of zigzag. You don't have to do one that's that big. Stripe, and then zigzag. Wow, look at all these crazy patterns. I'm going to put a little tiny pattern right in there. And I'm just going to do some lines. So straight lines, across lines, straight lines, across lines, across lines, straight lines. I just put some lines inside the heart just to make it kind of look fun. All right, so I think for this section right here, I'm going to do some just little, like almost like skinny sprinkles, just little lines. So like skinny sprinkles, kind of all over. All right, and let's see what's next. Ooh, I think for my one right there, I'm going to do some tiny little across stripes, just little ones in there because we have a lot of room in there. Not a lot of room in there, so you can't get too crazy. All right, I'm going to put another pattern in here, and I'm going to do some double stripes. So see how I did two lines next to each other for double stripes. There. Looks pretty cool, huh? All right. Now, remember, you might like one of these patterns, but you don't have to put it in the same place I do. So you guys can put it anywhere that you want. So I am going to move to the next section, and let's see, what am I going to do? Ooh, oh, all right. I think I am going to use my, so many choices. Oh, I think I'm going to use my grid. So kind of like I'm drawing some lines this way. So I'm making some kind of big stripes, and then I'm going to go this way. So I went in one direction, then the opposite direction. And you'll notice too, my squares are not perfect, but I just made them the best that I could. All right. So for this section right here, I'm going to do some squiggle lines. Squiggle lines are some of my favorite lines to make. So they're not like the loop-de-loop lines, because the loop-de-loop lines kind of go in a straight line. These, they don't. They kind of squiggle and wiggle all along the paper. All right, so I got my squiggle lines. So I'm going to do this little section of my heart right here, and I'm going to do it with some little triangles in it, I think. Like little tiny tortilla chips. Okay. And then for this section, I'm going to do some skinny stripes. I haven't really done skinny stripes right next to each other yet. So I'm going to do that. Cool. All right. So we have this section next. And again, your sections are going to look different than mine are, and that's okay. So I'm going to go wavy line, straight line, wavy line, straight line. Here we go. Looks pretty good. All right, for my next design, I'm going to fill in this little heart, and I'm going to fill it in with, I call this like the confetti one. So it almost looks like loop-de-loop confettis. There we go. That looks good. All right, for this next one right here, I'm going to do some swirls. So I'm just doing some swirly lines, kind of in stripes. Just doing some swirls. Okay. swirly lines. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some big circles over here. So big circles, or they actually end up being kind of medium. And then little ones in between. Kind of looks like a piece of cheese now. Like a piece of Swiss cheese. All right. For my next section, oh, let's see, so many patterns. Ooh, what should I do? Let's see. I'll do some dash line, dotted line, dash line, dotted line, dash line, dot. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections left. Ooh, almost there. All right, for our next section, I am going to put some, let's see. I think I'm going to do some flowers in here. So just doing some little flowers. You could do things like that. All right, and for this little teeny tiny section, I'm going to do kind of some pointed little section right there. Just did some little V's. And for this little section right here, I'm going to do some lines and circles. So I'm using shapes and lines. All right. For our last heart section, I'm actually going to put hearts in it. Because I feel like putting little tiny hearts inside my heart. All right. And for my very last section right here, I'm going to do some wavy vines with some little, just leaves. So wavy line and then just a little oval shape. And if your leaves look different than mine, if you're doing this pattern too, that's okay. And if your sections are different shapes than mine, that's okay. These are all going to look so great and so different. I can't wait to see them all. Oh, and our last pattern, we made it. Woo! So many patterns. Oh my goodness. So follow along, make a bunch of different patterns. You guys can use any of these patterns or you don't have to use any of them and you can make up your own. I can't wait to see the absolute beautiful artwork that everybody makes. I am so excited. I hope you guys had fun. I hope this was helpful. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.